Hello there. Today we're going to be showing everyone how to properly poach an egg. If your kitchen is anything like mine, you have something like this, a frying pan with 6 little small inserts of bowls where you fill the bottom of the frying pan up with water, and then afterwards you can take these little bowls, fill them with a little bit of cooking spray or a little bit of oil or butter, place your egg inside, put a lid over it, and then you poach your eggs. So I'm going to show you that there is an easier way to poach an egg, and even a more fun way in my opinion. There's less cleanup. You have the ability to do this on the fly if you need, with not a lot of cleanup, so you're able to poach an egg in the morning before you're able to go to work, and it's a little bit of a healthier way to do this. So I'm going to show you a quick breakfast that I do before I start my day, and it involves a poached egg with no oil. So here we go. So here is what we're going to be using today. We have, I'm using female bacon here. At the same time, you can use normal bacon, you can use ham, you don't have to have any meat. Whatever toppings you would like, this is to show you what we can use. I have fresh eggs. The fresher the eggs you use, the easier it will poach. Over here I made a little dip here. It's like a jalapeno yogurt dip. You can get inventive and try some kind of a spread out to put on, as well as I have a little bit of white vinegar that we'll be putting to the boiling water. I have some cilantro because I love that fresh smell, and I love cooking with fresh products, so cilantro is a great choice. Over here I have a frying pan heating up for the female bacon, and I have some water going. And if you look into the water, this is getting close to the temperature that you want the water. You don't want it boiling, but you want it to simmer a bit, where you see bubbles coming up, but it's not a steady boil. As well, I do have an English muffin toasting in the toaster, which we will be putting all this on. This again is a way to poach an egg, but here's a quick, easy way that you can put the poached egg together in order for you to have a quick, easy breakfast. So here we go. And at this point, I'm going to take my white vinegar. You usually want around a teaspoon of white vinegar per every quart of water. So I would say that's about that. Okay. So my water is just at that right temperature. At this point, I do have my pan heating up, and I'm just going to place my female bacon into the pan and start letting that cook. When cooking female bacon, you do add a little bit of water just to help everything simmer. So while that's cooking, now we have a nice simmer going on to our water. It's not quite boiling, it has some nice bubbles to it. You can see some steam coming off of it. The vinegar has been added, and now we have our egg that is pre-cracked in a little bowl like this. I'm going to be doing 2 eggs here, so this is my first one. As well as, the fresher the egg you use, the easier it will be to stick together. I should note also that the reason we're using vinegar is so that the white of the egg basically surrounds the yolk. The vinegar helps it basically come together and kind of stay together when you are cooking. You want to be having some sort of a spoon as well. I'm using this ladle with holes in it, just so you're able to move the egg around. So what you basically want to do is come to the water, and I place my cup into the water a little bit, and then I basically just turn it over and drop it in. You'll notice that the egg immediately will drop to the bottom. You want to leave this alone for a few seconds. Not to disturb it, but at the same time, you do want to move it around so it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. Here goes my second egg. As you can see, it jumped around quite a bit more than the other ones. So I'm just going to move this around a bit. Let's see if I can get a closer up look. So there's our eggs in the water cooking. And you want to usually keep them in there for around, I would say, 5 minutes. But I will show you that you can take your spoon, bring them out of the water, and just test them to see if it's working here. Female bacon is cooking. I have my 2 English halves here that I've toasted. I actually put it in the toaster as one English muffin and then cut it afterwards. That way you have a nice soft center and a nice crispy outside. I put a little bit of my yogurt jalapeno dip on here. Nice part about cooking yourself is you can decide how much is too much or how much is just enough. So here's how our eggs are looking. You might say to yourself, what the heck is going on? So what you want to do every once in a while, it's been about 3 minutes now, is I take this out of the water just a hair, give it a plump like this, just give it a feel. It's very soft still, but you can see it is hard enough that I can lift it out without cracking the yolk. So I'm going to put that one back in. I think this was the one that was second, so it might still be a little bit soft. The nice thing about cooking like this is we're not using the oil. So while our female bacon is cooking, I'm just going to chop some cheese up here to place on top. So I have a little bit of a herb garden cheese that I'm using, a mozzarella cheese, a herb garden mozzarella. Just a few slices. It's not like this is going on YouTube or anything. And for the now for the cilantro, I'm just going to give it a little bit of a chop. Okay. And now we're basically ready to assemble. Okay, so now we're basically ready to assemble our little breakfast here. So the first thing that I like to do is place my female bacon on the English muffin first. I have a nice healthy piece. I like my female just a little bit darker in color. Now with the eggs, we're going to check them one more time, and at this point you want to have some sort of a paper towel. You want to have some sort of a paper towel ready for you. So that feels just about perfect, where you can still feel a little bit of movement. You take your paper towel and you damp the wetness of the egg off. Just like so. And then basically, we are placing them on the female bacon. I'll do the same thing to the other egg, which I feel is just right, the way I like it. I like my eggs about, I like my eggs over easy to a little bit less well. So now I have this one that goes on top here. As you can see, it's coming together quite nicely. At this point, I like to put a little cilantro on top. And then comes the cheese. Afterwards, I like to end it with a little bit more cilantro. One thing I forgot to do was salt and pepper the egg. I will put a little pepper on top. The jalapeno dip that I put on before will be salty enough for this, as well as the female bacon, so I'm not going to put any salt on it, but I put some pepper on it, and there you have it. There's a perfectly poached egg, easy to go. And there it is. So here's the finishing product. I just wanted to show you how beautiful it is when you cut it right down the center. If you've done it right, you should have quite the nice yolk. You know, just enough oak that starts coming out. Yolk, not oak. Here's the other one. You have perfectly poached eggs.